Hello, it is Monday again, and so we are here for the Lake Norman Woman podcast. I am Mamie Lee, editor-in-chief of Lake Norman Woman magazine, here with my gorgeous co-host. We dressed alike today. Of pockets and everything. You didn't do the sneakers though, Katie.
I tried. I talked about it. I really thought about it, and I just couldn't do it.
Okay, so the reason I wear the sneakers is twofold. I'll tell you guys so you know. One is comfort, function over fashion. I do have Crohn's disease. It affects my joints as well too, which we can get into that on another episode one day, but Katie and I both share that as well. We were both diagnosed with Crohn's disease different times, but another connection that we have, which is so cool, affects my joints. And so it makes it harder for me to wear those cute shoes. But the other part of it is, and it's actually a line from Mean Girls, which really fits in well with our episode today, focused on theater and all things going on around Lake Norman Woman of the Year. But one of the lines in that was, how am I going to run the world in shoes I can't walk in?
Exactly.
So, I mean, once I heard that, I was like, oh, facts. Okay. Sneakers all the time now. So you'll see me in sneakers with dresses. Lake Norman Woman of the Year, probably be in sneakers that day too. We'll see what I can buy.
Probably be in sneakers that day.
You know, I got the bedazzled ones, so I'll probably go with the fancy sneakers.
The fancy ones.
I have the ones with the rhinestones on them, so probably go that way. But we have a very special episode today, Katie.
I'm so excited about today.
We have the nonprofits that we're featuring with Lake Norman Woman of the Year. Katie is kind enough to be on our planning team. What has it meant to you to be part of this planning team?
It's been so phenomenal because I think it's something that our community has always needed. You know, we do celebrate and showcase so much, and yet we've been able to bring this group together and really pinpoint those unspoken heroes. And so we're able to honor this amazing woman and women in the community, but we're also giving back too. So these amazing charities that are near and dear to my heart are going to be also receiving checks.
Near and dear to my heart as well too. And for me, I'm so thankful for our planning team, you being part of it, and the other amazing women who have experience in nonprofits, who have experience in events, who have experience in all the things around the lake, and also from different areas of the lake too. We didn't just all pick people who are in one town. We're spread out between Huntersville, Cornelius, Mooresville, and you're in Troutman as well. And so just different areas of the lake so that we were able to cover all those different areas, all those different networks. And it's been so special to me too, because to see the nominees come through.
Oh my God, you guys has blown my socks off.
Hundreds of nominees that came in, and just so special to see.
So diverse.
Yes, absolutely. So like the husbands that are nominated, their wives, the best friends that nominate their friend, the people that's nominated their colleague, their coworkers, the people who they work at a church with them or something like that. So it has just been so special for me just to read through them. I mean, you guys, like, thank you for sending those in, ladies, because to see what you see in other women has been so special to me too.
And I think I hope there's a way that we can share those words, because when you read it, you are seeing them you're seeing yourself through somebody else's eyes.
That's so special.
Stuff that you don't realize.
Yeah, because what somebody sees in you, you may never see in yourself. My mom always said, when you see something about a woman that you admire, tell her.
Yes.
Because she might not think that of herself.
And it's like that card game we did
at
the women's conference.
Yes, at the women's conference. Absolutely. So you were able to hand a card of encouragement to something you saw in a woman. And that was just so special to hear. So we're able to do that on a larger scale with this event that is sold out, guys. It's sold out.
Now you are done.
We're done. I cannot add any more. Please stop. Stop texting me asking for tickets. I've done all I can. And Erin, our event planner, is going to murder me if I add any more tables.
You're not allowed.
I'm so sorry, guys, but we are sold out. But just means we
exciting.
It's
our first year doing it, and to be sold out so far ahead of time is phenomenal.
It's so special, and we'll just go bigger next year.
Yeah, we will.
We're
already planning next year.
That's right. But one of the really special things that we're able to do with this is to give back to nonprofits. So everything that we're bringing in that does not go to the event is going to go to these nonprofits that are here with us today. So we have Mooresville Children's Theater and Pharaoh's Parenting represented. Gina and Camryn with Mooresville Children's Theater, and Tonya here with Pharaoh's Parenting. I usually do these really flowery introductions for people, and it's nothing against you guys. I just feel like I know you already, and so I don't feel like I even need to do research to introduce you. But if you guys don't mind just introducing yourself, how long you've been with the organization. Gina, we'll start with you.
I'm Gina Duckworth. I've been with the organization now for going on 12 years.
Wow. And then Camryn.
Yeah, I'm Camryn, and I am officially working on the production side for the first time this year, but I've been a part of Mooresville Children's Theaters since 2014.
Well, yes, and Gina's your mom as well. Yes. Yeah. Gina's your mom, so you were in the productions
as a kid.
And now you're on the other side.
Yeah,
and then Tonya
fantastic.
Fowler here with Pharaoh's Parenting. Tonya, how long have you been with Pharaoh's?
So I've been with Pharaoh's just over 5 years, and the executive director for right at 5 years in July. So that's my position anniversary, I guess. But I was with them for a few months before I became the executive director. So
yeah, and just kind of tell me that nonprofit space, because Katie works in it. I mean, Katie, you probably better ask these questions today than I am. But what was it about the nonprofit space, Tonya, that
I love how we all make that same face.
Like, I love the face. I do. I love the face. Guys, if you're not watching on video, watch on video.
It is very much you are either a nonprofit person or you're not. Mm-hmm. And I found that out the hard way because I worked for nonprofits. I volunteered for nonprofits. When my children were small and I wasn't working, I still went and volunteered, and I was at their school all the time, involved in our local community theater, serving on the boards, and you know how much time goes into those productions, and I was there as much as I could. And then when my kids got older, I tried to go work for a corporate America, and then I was like, oh no, this is terrible. Like, I didn't like putting money in someone else's pockets, and I didn't have a passion for what I was doing. And so it didn't take long before I was like, I've got to find another job, and I want to be back in the nonprofit world. And it means less pay, and it means a lot of stress and hard hours. And, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love my job. I love to be able to get up every morning and know what I'm doing is for someone else. It is a life of servitude, really, towards everyone else. And that goes for not only the clients that we serve, but for my staff, like, because they are working their tails off for those clients, and I want to make sure that they are appreciated. And so I work to make sure that I can, thank them in an appropriate way. So I think once you have that bug, the nonprofit bug, you can't really get out of it. And some people couldn't do it, and they say that to me all the time. I don't know how you do that, but I couldn't do it without it. Like, that's
you wouldn't want it any other way.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
And for people who may not be familiar with Pharaoh's Parenting, what's the mission that you guys have?
So at our heart, and simply put, we're a child abuse prevention agency, but we do that through parent education, parent support, in-home coaching, intervention. So we have a lot of different programs that kind of helps us with that prevention side of things. So some of our cases are tertiary, after something has happened that has led them to us through a referral from DSS or the court system. But many of our programs, and we've grown this side of prevention over the last 5 years, because that's really what we want to do, is eliminate ever getting to the point that they get referred to us. So we're increasing that prevention side by, just providing education from birth all the way to age 18 for parents that are struggling. Maybe they never had a good role model growing up. They don't know what good parenting looks like, or as you guys know, it changes. It has changed drastically since my kids were little. And so grandparents that may have custody or guardianship of their grandchildren now come to us because they don't know how to parent now. The way they did when their kids were young is not appropriate anymore. So we just are there to provide that support and make sure that there are no crisis modes, basically, is what our hope is, that every parent learns good parenting skills and positive parenting, and that we can break that cycle of abuse and neglect.
I think it's so special, too, because there are different stages of parenting, too. Katie and I both went through a phase where we were single parent. Katie still is, but I went through it. I'm remarried now, but I was a very, surprise single parent, too. And so then here I am going through this crisis in my life. And also, how do I parent my child through this transition as well? Right. Do you guys offer support for that?
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, I say all the time, people will say, there's no manual for raising. Why isn't there a manual for raising kids? But the easy answer to that is that every family is different. You can't put everybody in a box. So there's not a manual that says do this, this, and this, because every single family is going through something different. And you have to address those situations differently. And it might be cultural. It might be, their situation, single parent versus two parents in the home. It could be domestic violence, trauma history. There's all types of things that we have to take into account when we're working with these families. So we customize what we do with every single person that we come into contact with. And yes, a parent who has, or a family that has two parents in the home that suddenly becomes one parent in the home, that's going to change parenting completely, because you used to tag team and now you have to do it all. So yeah, that we absolutely, serve parents through every stage and age. And we always, I was talking about my middle child was like the worst child, like the worst baby. She cried constantly, colicky, threw tantrums, banged her head on the floor if she didn't get her way. And it didn't matter where we were. So beside the pool, the concrete, she banged her head until she had blood running. Yeah, she was a terrible, terrible child. She's the best, easiest, sweetest, most loving teenager that I could have asked for. And so reverse that with my other daughter, who was a great baby and gave me a really hard time as a teenager. So it might be that you go through those early stages and you're like, I got this, parenting's easy. But then when they become a teenager, you're like, whoa, so we're still there. Call us when they're 13. That's fine. Or you may not need us at that point because we already helped you at age 3. I don't know, but we're there for the whole parenting journey.
I think that's so great too, because like you said, different parenting is different, but each children is different. Each child is different too. It changes every single time.
Yes.
Well, we always say it takes a village. Yes. And sometimes we forget our village is outside of, say, our family and friends. And I'm blessed to have you guys as friends. And I see the community that you guys are a family in and amongst your office building.
We are.
But you walk into that love and support. It's like, oh, wait a second. My village can extend or be extended through a phone call.
Yes.
And you guys have a phenomenal staff that allows different opportunities, different options, different theories that all play into, okay, what's going to work best for your family.
Right.
And I think that's what it is just being able to know that you're there and then having that courage to reach out. But it's a phone call and they're phenomenal.
And to your point, every staff member kind of has their own forte, things that they deal with and they do better. And so we often cross-refer within our own agency. So we might have a family that comes in for Best Beginnings because they're new and had a baby, but through that process, we find out that they have dealt with substance abuse in the past. So we tell them about this great substance abuse, parenting through substance abuse class, and they sign up to take that. We just started a new class yesterday, actually 2 new classes this week, and we had students in both classes that came from a previous class. So they took a class and then came back and took a different class because they appreciated the information they got, and now they want more. And so I think that's what's so beneficial, is we can really reach anyone where they are. And it's, like I said, it's customized.
And we're breaking that cycle too. I mean, I think that's what's so important, right? We're raising healthy children who will be healthy adults.
That's right.
And that's so important too. And that's really changing their family's legacy too.
They're watching good parenting now. So that's what they grew up knowing. And that's where it breaks the cycle. It's just...
Gosh, it's so special. I just got chills.
And the adults are able to reparent themselves. Because we're able to heal and support ourselves as we learn these new skills.
Yes.
And so you're healing not only that family in the future generations, but you're also able to heal the person that called to ask for help.
Right. We had a mom say, when my daughter would throw a tantrum, I thought it was because I was being a bad parent. And you just helped me realize that's normal and I'm not being a bad parent. So she had lost confidence in what she was doing. And all she needed was for us to say, you're absolutely doing the right thing. This is what 2-year-olds do, and she had just lost that confidence. So just giving her that peace of mind that she was doing the right thing will keep her going, keep her head up. She won't beat herself up and become into that, depressed mom mode. Like I'm, mom guilt thing, I stink at this. But it's different for every parent. And we're there to kind of just give them that hand up and support and education if they need it. So,
God, that's amazing. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back and get to know Mooresville Children's Theater, Gina and Camryn, a little bit better as well. We'll be right back after some messages from our sponsors on the Lake Norman Women podcast.
Dreaming of starting your own podcast but don't have the space or gear? The WSIC Podcast Studio has everything you need to bring your content to life. With multiple sets that can be tailored to fit your needs, state-of-the-art lighting, and camera equipment, you'll be ready to create high-quality content. Need a photography studio? We've got you covered with our professional cyclorama wall. Bring your own camera and let our expert producers handle it. Email social@WSICnews.com to schedule your tour today. The WSIC Podcast Studio, where your ideas come to life. Looking for deeper self-discovery and emotional growth? Soul to Soul Connection offers supportive space where horses help you understand your inner world in ways traditional talk therapy can't. Our certified professionals guide you through meaningful experiences that foster reflection, healing, and renewed perspective. Best of all, these services are offered at low or no cost for veterans, first responders, and their families. Learn more at healingwithhorseslkn.org and start your journey toward greater well-being today.
Imagine a home where every inch is designed just for you. At The Closet Niche, they create custom solutions based on your specific needs. From closets to build-ins, garages to wall beds, their locally created solutions deliver functionality and elegance. With a lifetime warranty, best price guarantee, and award-winning service, you'll see why they've won Best of the Lake 2 years running. Get your space reimagined. Visit theclosetniche.com today.
Welcome back to the Lake Norman Woman podcast. We are sitting here with the two nonprofits that we're supporting with the Lake Norman Woman. Lake Norman Woman of the Year. There we go. We got it. We got it all in there. We're sitting here just spending time with them, getting to know them better, and getting the why behind why we chose them on our committee to support too. So Gina Duckworth, Executive Director, Board Director. What is your title? I don't even know. You are Mooresville Children's Theater. So, but I don't know what your official title is.
Short straw that ends up on stage to announce everything. Because my board's like, I'm not getting up there and talking. But no, there's a whole team of people. But I think my official title is board chair.
Board chair, okay. Mooresville Children's Theater.
President, whatever.
And you've been with it though. So Camryn, your daughter's here, which I think is so special too. Camryn's directing the show this year. Is this your first time directing a Mooresville show?
Yes, directing and choreographing.
You're choreographing
first
too.
time. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's so special too to have you guys here together. You guys working together now. Katie and I had the privilege of having our daughters on our Mother's Day episode. It was just so sweet to sit here with them, all the work that we put into our children, and then to see the fruition of so in line with what Tonya's doing about raising, teaching parents and raising healthy children. I want to ask you, Camryn, what's it like working with your mom?
It's really awesome. It's really cool. It's something that makes sense. We both have the same passions, but it's not really something we've done. I was acting in high school and middle school and when I was at home, but as I started to go to college and graduate and all of that, I started to really find passion teaching and really wanted to do something like direct choreograph. And I've had little projects here and there. And then earlier this spring, my mom was trying to find someone to do their summer show and called me and was like, would you want to maybe choreograph it? And I was like,
I think she'd say yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, maybe, who knows where I'll be this summer? I didn't know. But then time went on and I was like, I think it would be really nice to do that. She was like, great, you want to direct it too? And I was like, okay. It's been a really great experience and she's so hands-on. I mean, you're like this every year. It's not just because I'm there, but she does such a great job. It's a huge cast. Usually the summer shows, I think probably your biggest. We have about 60, a little under 60 students from 7 years old to 20, I think.
We have a 19-year-old.
19, yeah. And so it's a huge range. And so sometimes when it comes to rallying everyone, you got to talk to a high schooler different than you talk to an 8-year-old. So she does a really great job at doing that. And it's something I can admire and learn from.
Yeah. And Gina, what's it like working with your daughter too?
Well, I was hesitant. I didn't think she'd like working with me. And I actually said it to some of our board members when I pitched it and they were on board immediately. They said, yes, they've supported her and she's grown up with all these little mamas.
Yeah. Yeah. We call them all aunties. Yeah. They're all aunties. Yeah.
Aunties. I pitched and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've directed shows or choreographed shows that she's been in. I've always been a part of it in some way, but never have I produced a show where I'm writing her paycheck. You know, we've never had that level. So yeah, it's been great. She knows everybody. They all know of her anyway. So it just kind of, she slipped right in. She's co-directing it with Lucas DeVore, who's doing the music and stuff. And both of them kind of grew up doing this together. So it just sort of felt like a really good.
It's a full circle.
It really is full circle. Like, you and Lucas did shows together.
Yeah, at Mooresville Children's Theater as actors. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and now you're directing, choreographing, you know, musical director all together.
Yeah.
So that's a very cool moment, I'm sure, for you, Gina, just to see them do it as well.
It was. I kind of sat back yesterday at one of the rehearsals and thought, I just scanned the room thinking, this is a really neat project where our older kids, and we have plenty of new kids for every show, but there is a handful of older kids either working on the production or in the show that these little ones are now going to evolve into, because these were our younger kids. Mm-hmm. You know, our older kids are now like 30, 26, 27, you know. So yeah,
well, that's what you want. You want those to have those communities and those moments where you're like, this is a part of who I am. I want to come back and do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we do have a lot of people that come back, even if they're just working a small thing backstage or working a ticket table. They do come back. We're their people. They're our people, and we get excited when they come through the door too, especially if we haven't seen them in a bit and they've gone off. Yeah.
I have to say, too, for my own daughter, who is now in college, the theater moms, they did a group email and they were like, okay, we need everybody's address in college, and they send care packages to my daughter. So she's like, I got a gift card from, and I was like, yeah, the moms are doing it. And she was like, oh, that's so nice. So like, it's just, you know, once you're in the family, you're in the family too. And I think that's so special too. So not just coming back to the theater, but these kids staying friends with each other. And I think we said before the show started, you know, every kid isn't sports. Every kid, you know, theater is a place where kids can find their family and find their community. Camryn, was that your experience as well?
For sure. I was super shy growing up. I did dance for a long time, which you can find community there as well. But being in a space where you are encouraged to be loud and be vulnerable and make friends and be silly, like not be afraid to look like a goofball, that allowed my confidence to skyrocket. And I feel like public speaking, you know, things like that, everything I've been able to kind of grow with is because of theater. And I see that with the kids we have now. We start first day, they might not know anyone there. And now, since we're 2 weeks out from opening, it's like mega ready time to like, you're like, okay, stop talking. But you're also like, yay, you're friends. Yeah. It's so refreshing.
I think we can say that about Katie.
That's my daughter Katie's story.
Not knowing a lot of people with she came in a really big cast for summer as well. And I remember even sitting outside. She was so nervous about it, you know, and just encouraging it. I went in one day just to kind of check on. Katie wasn't the only one. There was a handful I didn't know. They're just the quieter humans is what I always call them. And you just kind of check on them, make sure everybody's, you know, riding the wave together. And it took no time.
She just fell right in, right? And then she makes these friends who are still her friends that she still keeps in touch with when she comes home.
Every show, it's so sweet,
and it's everywhere. It's not just with us, but I think you learn how to navigate that in the youth program without the intimidating adults. You know, so when you've got a children's theater program within another theater or wherever, and it's just catering to those, and they're, you know, a little more wholesome choices. And so everybody, you know, there's nothing we have to talk about that's so off the grid. It's really just about getting through 6 weeks, having a really great experience, and you're going to learn in the meantime.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where our goals are boxed in.
Yeah. I think it's so cool too, because once they do get a role on stage, or they're kind of a standout in whatever, whether they're their ensemble or, you know, front of stage, I still get the kids that came in, they came in on Good Morning LKN. I love having them on the show because they do so well, right? It's really hard to find a 6, 7, 8, or even 17-year-old that can speak and, you know, be on the radio and, you know, be on the spot and have the conversation and be excited about it. It's hard to find that a lot of times with teenagers these days.
It's usually the quiet kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
It's usually they're outgoing in this environment.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But I'm still Katie's mom. You're Katie's mom, right? And I was like, I mean, I'm here with a whole radio show, but yes, I'm Katie's mom.
always Katie's mom. That's how it
She
works.
loves it though. She's like, it's the one space where like I'm more well known than you are. I'm definitely not a celebrity or star or anything, but that's who I am to these kids, and that's who I'll always be to these kids. And I think that's really special for these kids too, to be like, you're known by who your child is on stage versus who your parents are. So they get their own identity too, which is just really fun for me. But yeah, my daughter Katie, I mean, just over and over, and I text this to Gina probably once a month, like, thank you for what Mooresville Children's Theater did for her, her confidence, her friends. And even the story I have to tell is my dad came, and that was the first time he saw her perform. And he goes, she is so talented. I was like, I've been telling you, but even for my own dad to see it and witness it and see her loving what she does on stage, which I was able to see over and over again. But for my family to even see her come out of her shell in that way was so special for me too, as well.
And this has been like for generations. When I talk about these kids in their, in their 30s, they were doing it before there was a youth performing program in the area. So there's a lot of people still in it. And it's kind of interesting. Like one of our board members, Lisa Altieri, her son is a professional performer. And it's so nice when he comes back and he's like, oh, I'm so happy that this is here, that it exists, because it wasn't there for them. It was just kind of like on the cusp of happening. So it's just kind of nice that we can start with a certain generation, and the previous generations also appreciate it, because I think it happens in most communities where, they just have their moment to shine, and either it clicks or it doesn't, or they're doing it for fun or a living.
And it gives them that love, or whether they're going to, like Camryn, right? That's your career now, right? You're performing, but whether you do that, whether you're the next Camryn Duckworth or Renee Rapp or, whoever is going on that came from our community, you still have that love of theater and that appreciation of theater, whether you're acting or going to see shows or, being involved in, I think is really special.
Yeah, to always be who you are.
Yeah.
And that's roots.
And it's always going to be where, where you got your start and where you started to build your confidence, which is really special. And we wanted to choose 2 nonprofits that really helped women and children in our community. And that's what Pharaohs and Mooresville Children's Theater represents for us. So we're helping raise the next generation of confident parents and confident children. And that's what we want to do through Lake Norman Woman Magazine as well.
It's wonderful.
It's just so special to me. So I'm so thrilled. Thank you guys for agreeing to do this. And thank you guys for, being here and being part of this event. We are not done yet, though. We are going to come back. We've got more. We're going to come back with our next segment. We'll ask you our 3 favorite questions. We ask all of our guests, and I may throw an extra one in there as well. I think we should. All right, guys. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. See you in a minute.
Ready to create your podcast, video, or photo shoot? The WSIC Studio is your one-stop shop for all your content needs. We offer multiple sets that can be tailored to fit your vision, along with state-of-the-art lighting and camera equipment. Plus, our Cyclorama Photography Studio provides the perfect backdrop for stunning visuals. Bring your own camera or use ours, with expert producers to guide you. Email social@WSIC News today to book a tour. The WSIC Podcast Studios, your content, our expertise.
Are you ready for a fresh approach to healing and personal development? At Willow Equine, our certified professionals offer equine-assisted therapy that harness the powerful connection between horses and humans. We provide counseling, mindfulness, and leadership development tailored to your unique journey. Discover new insights and transform your life through the sensitivity and wisdom of horses. Visit healingwithhorseslkn.org to learn more. Begin your path to well-being today.
Winning Best of the Lake 2 years in a row, The Closet Niche is not only locally owned and operated, but their products are manufactured right here in Lake Norman as well. With a lifetime warranty and best price guaranteed, they deliver stunning, high-quality designs tailored to your specific needs. From closets to pantries, laundry rooms to garages, and more. Their work speaks for itself. Visit theclosetniche.com to get started on your 5-star experience today. Visit theclosetniche.com today.
Welcome back to the Lake Norman Woman podcast. What a special episode we're having here, Katie.
So much fun.
And it just makes me more excited for this event coming up.
Cannot get here.
Yes, and you guys, I can tell you guys that we do have a very special MC that will be performing. Multiple MCs. So we will have some of the kids from Mooresville Children's Theater that will MC the event. We kind of went back and forth with our event planner, with our team, and talking about like, who should we get to MC? Should we get like a celebrity? Should we get, bring somebody in? No, not me. Definitely not me. Get Katie of Katie's mom to come and do it. But then once we started thinking about this is about, helping women and children, and who better to MC than some of the kids from this? And they're so good at getting up and performing.
It's an amazing opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So, and just to know that we can, Gina's got a group of kids that she can pull from that are going to do a fantastic job. So, we're excited for that. Excited for us to have this event and just to have all these people coming together to celebrate the women that are in our community and then to also help these fantastic nonprofits that are with us. So
it's a win-win for everybody.
It's a win-win-win, really.
And we get to
party and hang out and have a fantastic time together at the Brawley Estate in Mooresville. It's going to be so much fun. So ladies, we ask all of our guests the same 3 questions. Tonya, we're going to start with you. What's your favorite thing about Lake Norman?
Oh, I have to say without a doubt, it's the community, the people. It is a warm and inviting place to live. It's just, there's such, whether it's neighbors helping neighbors or small businesses stepping up for calls or like community events that bring everybody together, like you just feel the warmth here, and it's a place that makes you proud to call home, really.
Absolutely. Camryn, what about you? You grew up here, right? Yeah. A lot of people don't grow up here. Yeah, you are a unicorn. So a lot of people end up moving here, but you grew up here. So what's special about Lake Norman?
I grew up here, and I feel like every time I come home, obviously there's so much that changes, but it's so beautiful here. I always feel like I come home and I'm like, oh, my home is like a vacation. We have the lake nearby and downtown Mooresville. We're in Mooresville area of Lake Norman. That's blown up. There's just so much to do now that I feel like I either didn't know about when I was a kid or it's just really expanded. But every time I come home, it's just nice to know that I can go to the Lake Norman State Park and lay on the beach or swim in the water. It's just such a fun place to say that's where I grew up and that's home base. And it feels like a vacation when I get to come home, which is really nice.
That's fantastic. And for us with kids who grew up here too, that's great for us to hear too.
Yeah,
come home, come be on vacation.
Come back and visit. Sometimes we don't recognize what's around us because this is normal.
Right.
Like for Natalie, being at a horse farm is normal. The lake is normal.
Right.
When you're a couple degrees separated from it, you're like, oh, I was so blessed that this is my backyard.
You don't realize it until you leave.
Yeah, much of the reason for me wanting to move here is so that my daughter could also grow up with the lake in her backyard. That was the whole point of it, to grow up with that life. Then that lifestyle was so
and
special.
I went to school out of state, so even just coming home for Christmas break or those summers in between semesters, I was like, wait, this place is pretty awesome. And now I have friends that come to visit, 4th of July weekends, all that stuff. Everyone looks forward to coming to the house, which is really nice.
Yeah. All right, Gina, what about you? What's your favorite thing about this area?
We moved here to raise our kids on the lake. We moved in, we started Huntersville, Cornelius, now we're in Mooresville. We've
going north.
For almost 17 years. But it is nice. It's a place that once our kids went on to college that we thought, oh, do we downsize? Do we not? And it's either there's 2 of us at our house or 20, because when they both come home, it's all their friends that also are coming home at the same time. So we love the sense of community. It's beautiful, but I think as we lived here and raised our kids and have businesses here, you do get out and you understand the sense of community. Like if you go to downtown Mooresville's food truck night, you see everybody, from both sides of the lake. Yeah. And I don't know, I just feel like Davidson, all the little cities that have the lake community where, this Lake Norman, it spreads across many counties. I think that everybody has that same sense of it's a small town feel, even though there's huge. It's huge. Still coming here and it's growing. It's like starting to feel big city sometimes, but not once you're there. It feels you're still a small town.
You still have that same small town community. That's what drew me to this area too. That small town community feel with access to big city things.
Right.
That's really what I love about it. Yeah. All right, Camryn, we're going to go to you next. Sure. what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
This was really hard for me to think of because I feel like I get advice all the time, especially at my age. Graduated a couple of years ago from college, trying to figure out my life. And I think something that is very helpful to think of is no one thinks about you the way that you think about you. So when you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that yesterday. That was a weird thing to say. That's in one ear, out the other for some other people. Or, oh, I don't know if I liked my outfit from that night. Little things like that, especially with social media and this generation. I feel like we're always thinking of ourselves, and that might keep us from being who we are. But when you realize that everyone's doing that too, it kind of helps bring out your confidence and be yourself more than you feel like you can.
Nobody's analyzing you like you analyze yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like you're your hardest critic. You know what I mean? And absolutely.
Yeah, we say all the time, be as kind to yourself as you would to somebody else. But the reverse of that is like nobody's paying as much attention to you.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
It's right.
not.
I'm like, stop being selfish, Camryn. Like, no one's thinking of you the way you're thinking of you.
My other side of that too, Camryn, I think I was like 30 and I was on the beach and I was like, nobody cares what I look like on the beach.
Exactly.
Everybody cares what they look like, so I can wear whatever I want. No, I mean, and if they do think, I'll never see them again. What does it matter?
Exactly.
What does it matter? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else want to go? A good piece of advice that you got? Tonya, Gina, you got one?
I think I had someone tell me a long time ago, and it's going to tag on that. She said, our headspace is a dangerous neighborhood to live in. And I think when you're doubting yourself, and I think of that when we do nonprofits, or when you said you left a nonprofit, or you left corporate to be in a nonprofit again, I think at the end of the day, if you feel in your gut feeling that what you're doing is serving someone, or when you're just really doing what you want to do in your head, like when you want to serve someone, whether you get served back or not, like you treat people, it sounds very trite to say all these little sayings, but when she said, this person said this to me, and I was like, oh yeah, she's like, I don't know why you're overthinking any of this. Just do it. You could be thinking about this for the next 30 minutes and it could have been done by now. The call could have been made or whatever, So I remind myself that a lot. And that was said to me years and years and years ago. But I hang on to that a little bit.
When it really crosses over in life, in business, in nonprofit, everything, how you show up, it's, we can be our own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Tonya, you got anything?
I would just say, I don't know that this was ever said to me, but it was kind of shown to me through my parents growing up, was work hard, play hard is what I've always been kind of shown and taught through my parents. So everything that I do is 110%, but I always make sure that I take time for enjoying life and laughing and spending time with those that I love, because that fills my cups that I can go back. So it's just, I think there's a balance of working hard and playing hard that feeds everybody. Like you have that achievement, but you also have the travel, and life is short. So don't forget to go do these things. My best friend would say that other alternative to that motto is, I always say, you can sleep when you're dead. Yeah. Because she's like, you just said that before too. Yeah. You fit so much into one day. And I'm like, you can sleep when you're dead.
I mean, you and I are going to be great friends. Yes, I know. Katie's always like, take a vacation. I'm like, okay, it's going.
We call it the Fowler schedule. I'm like, oh, well, after I've worked all day and had this and then this, then we're going to go, whatever. And they're like, that's the Fowler schedule. I'm
going to start adopting that. That's what I'll just tell my family.
Yeah,
I'm on the
Fowler. I think you're even beyond the Fowler schedule. On the Fowler schedule. Y'all are a little much for me, because I used to be that. I'm like, oh, I've got 5 minutes. I can do X, Y, and now I'm like, oh, that'll make me tired.
So on another note, my license plate for the last 20 years, I have a vanity plate that says we're late.
Oh, yeah. That's me too.
And it truly is, because I am so optimistic that I can fit something else in.
There's an actual word for that, Tonya.
Really?
So we do word of the day on Good Morning LKN every day. And there was a word of the day, and now it's going to leave my brain because I forgot it. That was also a word of the day when you have a word on the tip of your tongue and you forget it. But I think it's
we need
it's an optimist, but like the optimist is like you think you have more time than you do. And that's tis optimist. That's what it is.
Tis optimist.
That's what my license plate, when I get my vanity, that's what it's going to say. It means you always think you have more time than you think you do. And that's me every day.
So I'll be tis optimist too, because I'm too.
I'm always late. So I'll text the guy and I'll just say, the guys in the morning, I'll be like, I got the tids. And that's what it is. I'm sorry, guys.
I am so stealing that. I like that.
I was up at 5 working. I was like, I got plenty of time to be there by 7. And then all of a sudden it's 7:03 and I'm like racing to the studio. That show starts at 7:06. So yes, that's me all day long. So yes, you're welcome to use that anytime you want to as well.
No, wait, are your kids the same way too? Or are your kids the opposite?
Oh, no, my daughter is the opposite.
Drives Natalie Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
There's a mix. There's a mix. I have one that is like me. I have one that is the exact opposite and cannot stand to be late. And to that point, my kids went to the charter school downtown so they could walk there from our house because we live downtown. And we always were running so late that he just started walking himself to school because he didn't like being late for school. And I was like, great, that's fun.
That's one less I have to worry about.
That's what we call problem solving. And we teach that in parenting.
You teach that. That's right. You teach that at Ferris parenting too.
But yeah, and then my middle one is kind of a good mix. She's not usually as late as me, but she doesn't freak out if we're going to be.
Yeah.
And Natalie has her moments. But she's like, Mom, let's go.
Yeah.
Especially if it's her stuff. If it's our stuff, if it's our family stuff, she's like, yeah, okay, you can have your mom moment. But like if it's her stuff, she's like, Mom, I've got school, or I have this, or I have that.
I am like that. I'm still like that.
We have to leave now. Yeah.
Child, we'll get it done.
I know. That's me too. I'm the worst. Okay. So what's one of your core values? Tonya, we'll start with you.
Compassion. That is the foundation of everything that I am. Like that goes back to the nonprofit world, like just having compassion for the folks that we serve, but for my team that, works for me. But I think that when we don't know where someone has come from, it's hard to judge where they are. So you might look at somebody and be like, gosh, how does she let herself get like that? Well, you don't know how far she was below that and how hard she's worked to get where she is now.
And what she's going through
and
right
what
now.
she's going through and what hand she's been dealt in life, and so so I just say treat everybody with compassion. And heart and humanity should come first.
That's so important. I know it's hard to remember that too when we are so busy and we're like, hey, I'm putting forth my best. Why aren't they?
Right. Yeah. And maybe that is their best.
Their best that day.
Best for today.
I think we've said that before too. Like what your best is for one day doesn't mean the same for the next day too. Some days you show up and you just had a rough day or a rough night. You don't know what they dealt with during that day. So just believing that everybody's showing up at their best for them, what they can do in that moment is really important.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, Camryn, do you have one you want to share?
I mean, that was basically what I was going to say.
The same ones.
With especially working with theater and parents, children, all of that, you don't know what their life was like before they entered your space, and having compassion, empathy, and just understanding to give them patience and let them do what they need to do. And approaching that with kindness, because you don't know if they got kindness before they showed up to your space, or you want to make sure they can leave in a better mood than how they came in, or something like that. I feel like I've been able to carry that when I've started to teach and direct, and now I approach it more in all aspects of my life. If a customer is not very nice to a barista, you're like, well, okay, yes, who knows how, maybe he needed that moment right now, and things like that. I think as women, I think we can approach a lot of things with compassion. Mm-hmm. And I see that a lot with you and how you treat the kids too. I feel like it's something I've been able to watch a lot of adults do that I've grown into learning.
Aw,
that's really sweet. Yeah. That's really sweet to say too, Camryn. Gina, you got,
good job. When someone, thanks.
We love having kids on the show.
I know, we love having the kids on the show.
I like the idea of just showing up. So I think as moms and as wives, or when you work with nonprofits or school teachers, I could just go on and on and on, but you kind of remember the people that showed up for you. And I think that's also my Achilles heel. Like, I think sometimes your priorities can go up and down for the day. You're like, I don't even know that I've had a conversation with my husband today, or, and he's here, where you prioritize different things. But I feel like at the end of the day, when you feel like you've just shown up for someone, and if it's not necessarily someone in need, it doesn't have to be dramatic, but I think it's funny how when I get a text from a parent that'll say, thank you so much for talking to my child the way you did. I was in the back, I heard it, and I'm like, sometimes I won't remember. So sometimes just being cognitive on how you do speak to people and just showing up. Like, to me, that was showing up for a student recently who I guess had a really rotten morning. And I just kind of sat down and just talked. We didn't talk about anything that we needed to really talk about. We just talked about, we'd start with a pencil, took you pencil, and just kind of just knew that person didn't, I didn't even know, some kids they look sad and they're not sad. So sometimes just showing up for the kids and then for your family. And I think as you get busy, like, the Fowler method, whatever we're all going to do, where you do pile it on sometimes just to take a beat, even if it's just midnight before and you're the only one standing in the kitchen, to take a beat and just know that you probably just showed up for a lot of people today is maybe why you feel so drained. And I think speaking to just women who take your magazines every month, they're probably the ones that also are the ones showing up for somebody, whether it be friend, family, kids, wherever you are. So I think just showing up. It means a lot when people show up for me. Like my husband goes to all of our shows at the Children's Theater. He hasn't had a child in those shows for a long time. I mean, he came over and moved set pieces the other day. But, just the fact that they do that, it doesn't go unnoticed when you show up.
I think, when somebody shows up for you too, not just you showing up for other people, but when somebody does that for you, it doesn't go unnoticed.
In those small moments.
In those little moments.
I think that's what we said. It's the big moments people can show up for.
Yes.
But it's in the moments where you're like, just shoot that text. Hey, how are you today?
Yeah.
I see you.
I think so too. Yeah. And sometimes you have to be reminded because your days, the hours turn into the days, turn into the weeks, turn into the months. And you're like, I think that can happen to most women, men too. But I think women, we do tend to not say no and take on as much as we can. And you just, like you said, just go through it. And I just feel like that's part of my whole circle is that. And I do feel like it just matters when people show up for things. And I don't think you realize how much you show up for people.
Or what impact you're making. Just like what you said, like you don't know what somebody else's day has been like. So you just showing up, you don't know what impact that made on their day too.
Right.
Like how that affected them. That may be the one thing that they needed
or
that
to lean
day.
over to the barista that just got yelled at and say, it's okay.
Right.
It's about that.
Exactly.
You're great.
You're doing a great job. Absolutely. Yeah. You never know what you say or what you do is going to make a difference in somebody's life that day, or be the word that they needed, or the compassion, or just the look or the hug that they needed.
A smile. Something as simple as a smile.
Yeah.
It goes so long.
Except when I'm in New York. Lauren, don't smile at everybody you pass.
Not up north, but that's okay.
That's different. Katie will teach me about what to do next time I go to New York. Don't.
Which is why people love Lake Norman.
That's right. That's another reason why we love living here so much. Everybody's smiling, so friendly. All right. Our bonus question today is for Gina and Tonya. What does being part of this event mean to you and your organization?
Oh man. Well, so all those services that we talked about, we offer those free. We don't charge anything for any of those parents. We don't want there to ever be a barrier to someone getting the help that they needed and to stopping them from, making a bad decision that's going to affect the child for the rest of their life, and them for the rest of their lives, having the child removed or whatever. So we make sure that, that is free to everyone. But in lieu of that, we have to raise 92% of our budget comes from community donations and grants and, fundraisers like this. So this helps us be able to provide that directly to those families. And but beyond the financial piece, I think for us, it's exactly what we were talking about, rebranding. We rebranded in 2020, and we're still trying to get that out to the community. So the visibility, I think, is what is going to be so important for us, for all of these folks at the gala to know who we are and to learn what we're doing, and to know that we're there as a resource, because somebody's going to be sitting in that audience that's like, my sister needs that, or my daughter who's pregnant needs that. Somebody's going to be sitting there and say, we need that help. And so I think that the visibility is just going to be a huge benefit for us. But I don't know if I'll have another chance to say this, so very quickly, I just want to thank you so much for choosing Ferris to be the recipient. I think that this is an amazing event. I'm so excited to be part of it. And I think that, from the nonprofit standpoint, anytime we have someone recognize the work we're doing, it's phenomenal. So thank you very, very much.
Well, I know that you're in it every day, but I do want you to know it does not go unnoticed. It does not go unnoticed, the work that you guys are doing every day. Sometimes when you're in it and doing it, we talk
you
about
don't see it.
You don't see it, but anytime that I mention you guys in the community, both of you guys, just the outpouring of love that comes for the work you guys are doing has been so evident. So yeah, people do notice, but we're so glad to be able to give back to you and all the work you do. And Gina, same question for you.
I always say we run on blood, sweat, and volunteers.
That's cute. I love that.
It's kind of something we've said for years. And with theater and after COVID and budget changes within the town and things like that, I just feel like we do run on donations. And we run with a lot of people that are just very underpaid as far as the high, like our board and our working board is completely volunteer, including myself. And then when we hire the directors to come in and run the show or to work with the kids with college coaching, whatever programs we've got going on the docket, we always sit down and go, how are we going to pay for it? And we've got a board that just will be like, we're going to figure it out. Don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. It's always my last thing when I hang up the phone. I go, okay, we're going to keep on going. So I think that just being recognized, the day I got your text, I was just like, oh my gosh, I could cry, because I also think that we are a working board that doesn't always ask for help outside of our community. We've had just a couple of fundraiser shows, and we probably should have 2 a year, but we've just not gone to those links yet. So I think just being recognized and being a recipient, I was just in a loss for words. I was humbled, and it feels almost strange to know that someone wants to gift us anything. Like we don't know how to receive that as a group sometimes, because we all just keep pushing, and like you said, when you're in it, you don't know. Our heads are always down, and we're just always working and playing beat the clock at all costs. But I just, thank you. Again, just all those words. I'm just humbled, and I don't even know how to receive it, really.
Well, we'll give you a big check, and that's how you'll receive it.
And we're going to celebrate.
We are going to celebrate.
We're celebrating the woman. We're celebrating women, but we're also celebrating your two organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what we're here to do, celebrate women. I mean, that's the whole point of the magazine, right? Celebrating the success of women. And you guys are part of that too. And so we're so glad to have you in the Lake Norman Woman family now, and you're here forever. You're stuck with us
beforehand, though.
That's right. You guys are here with us though. And so we're just so glad to have you here with us. So glad to be able to give back to you what you've given it so long to the community. And it's just a gift for us too, to be able to give back to you guys and to say thank you. So as we're wrapping up the episode, what do you guys have going on? How can the community be involved? What's going on? Tonya, I'll start with you.
So very quickly, our next 2 events that we have coming up, because we do 4 fundraisers a year. So we are very excited to do this for a second year in a row. We have a comedy show at the Kane Center in Cornelius on August 16th with Andy Forrester. So he was just one of the comedians in the Two Guys Named Chris All-Star comedy show that toured. Really funny guy out of Raleigh, and he's our headliner, and we've got an opener out of Winston-Salem. So it'll be a fun night of comedy, and it's clean comedy, so you could bring your mom and sit with her, and it would not feel good. And that's hard to find these days, but it'll be a fun night, and those tickets are on sale at the Kane Center or on our website. So we'd love to fill up the auditorium and just have a really fun night. It starts at 8:00, so go have dinner in Cornelius and then come enjoy a fun show. And that's called Stand Up for Good. And then we also have our golf tournament at the Trump National Golf Course October 20th. And the registration's open for that as well. So we've had that. This will be our 6th year for that golf tournament. So it's, great opportunity to play an exclusive course that you can't get into just, without a member. And so if you want to play golf, or if you like to play golf or know a golfer, send them our way.
Oh, my husband's signing up as we speak. He heard that, and now we're driving the golf cart. Yeah, he's on the website right now signing up as we speak. There you go. Yeah. Gina, what do you guys have coming up?
Well, besides our summer musical, Tarzan, which is our big one, we usually do 2 shows in the summer, like a junior and then one for the older kids. And this year, with the show this big, and we've had the opportunity to use the space at the Mooresville High School, we are flying kids, and and
That's
have
so
big
amazing.
cast of almost 60 people. So we've combined it this year. So I always say, our future is just the show hangover for a minute. And so we can spend our fall planning and getting through the holidays of what's coming up. But we'll have 2 shows back to back next winter again. We always do a play and then for 2. We do one for the older kids and one for the younger kids, and then it'll gear right into summer. Like the seasons just go so fast when you're auditioning and you have a couple months and then the shows. So that's just, it's on the horizon. It's just business as usual.
Yeah, you just keep
Where
going.
can they buy the tickets?
You can go on our website. It's all over our social medias. And then on our website, you can either scan or it goes straight to if you go straight on our website and click tickets, it just goes straight to the event, to the event, whatever's coming up next.
Yeah, we'll make sure to share those on our social media
I want
as
to
well.
see kids flying.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see Tarzan. I'm so excited. We had some of the kids on Good Morning Offhand, and they did the Tarzan yell. It's going to be fantastic, you guys. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be such a fun show. So thank you, ladies, for being here with us today. Thanks for being part of this event, and just really looking forward to a fantastic night, September 19th at the Brawley Estate.
That's sold out.
It's sold out. It's definitely sold out. Text Katie if you want more tickets.
I can maybe pull some strings. Maybe cannot.
I got no pull in this game. No. Yes, but we are looking forward, and thank you guys for being here with us and just sharing more of your stories so we can get to know you guys better. Yes. All right, we'll see you guys next week on the Late November Podcast.
Have a great week.